Man, well, it looks like I'm not the only one happy to see Ethan this episode.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for Lost. This is my next review for Season 2. This is for Episode 15, titled Maternity Leave. Well, we took a maternity leave this fucking episode. Holy shit. This episode finally gave us the answers that we have been waiting to see for I don't know how long. We finally have an episode focused on Claire where we find out what happened to her when her and Charlie were taken in Season 1. And I was really happy to see this because this is an episode that admittedly I think that has been long overdue. And of course, as a result, because of the person that took both Charlie and Claire, we get to see Ethan back this episode, which the plot of this episode is basically Claire. She is dealing with, in the current day, her baby kind of, being sick. She's not exactly sure what's wrong with Aaron. And you have, John that kind of says, like, you're not wandering around in the woods alone, And as the episode progresses, she kind of slowly remembers these memories that are kind of, coming back to her and stuff, And it's starting to make her realize what's wrong with her baby. And obviously, we see in the flashbacks that Ethan injected her with something while she was pregnant. Now, we see that he drugged her several times, and we see that she was completely just out of it. Like, she was stoned out of her mind, right? And she completely bought everything that Ethan was saying, and he even, promised her that he dropped off Charlie somewhere where they would find him, Which, obviously, we know that Ethan tried to have Charlie killed and hung because Jack and Kate found him just in the narrow, nick of time. So, it really, shows that Ethan is just an absolute, just piece of human shit. And on top of everything else, of course, we have him, he gives her this nice nursery, and he gives her all this nice stuff and all that. She's high out of her mind, so she doesn't even understand what the hell is going on. And in the current day, she tries to find this bunker that he locked her up in the flashbacks. Now, Ethan, I've always said from the beginning, is always a creepy bastard. He's always creepy. He's always got this creepy vibe about him. But in this flashback, we find out that the reason why they're doing what they're doing is because, obviously, based off what Danielle says, which she kind of reemerges this episode as well, too, we know that her child, Alex, was taken, right? And we kind of can see here that it looks like they're trying to do the same thing for Claire. They're trying to make her all doped up and stuff so that she can tell them herself that she says, oh yeah, take care of my kid, take my kid and take care of it or whatever, and you take it, you know what I mean? So they're trying to take the kid away from Claire. We know that. We can clearly tell. And as we see in this episode, in the current day, they find all this supplies of, like, fake beards and, like, fake, outfits and stuff. The others are clearly putting on some kind of a facade because they have fake beards and they have fake outfits that they wear while they wander around in the woods. So that's a huge piece of information right there on the others, that they wear these fake outfits and, put on these fake beards to look more, intimidating and more kind of hide in the shadows type of thing. While they come in here and steal these kids. So, yeah, it's some screwed up shit. It's some screwed up stuff. We don't know exactly what they're doing with these kids yet. We don't know that information, but we know that they're doing that. And my mind just goes to Fear the Walking Dead all the time with Padre, you know what I mean? But I like where this is going, and I will say that I do like that, overall, I think that it was a creepy episode because it showed you what happened to Claire. It showed that gap, and obviously at the end of it, we have her that gets rescued. And Ethan actually has somebody on the inside that kind of turns on him. You get this woman with dark hair, of course, that, knocks out Claire, drops her off in the, in the woods and stuff, and you kind of don't know who this is. And you get Danielle, of course, who ends up having to knock Claire out and ditch her where our group found her in Season 1. Because, obviously she's all out of her mind. She's not in the right, state of mind. So Danielle actually ends up saving her life. It may not seem like it, but that's what she does. She does end up saving Claire's life. And Claire, in the current day, realizes that this is what Danielle did for her so that she could save her life and get her away from Ethan and protect her kid and all this other stuff. And Danielle, though she had to knock out Claire, she did do what was right for her and she did protect her. So I thought that was a really interesting kind of reveal. And I thought that was a pretty crazy, way to cap off that story. You know what I mean? And obviously we know the rest. They save Charlie, they save Claire and stuff like that. And her kid is here, Aaron is here, but we're seeing kind of the after effects of it in the current timeline. So really cool episode, a lot of really cool info. And I love seeing Ethan because you love to hate him. You know what I mean? He's creepy, he's kind of intimidating, and the actor does a really good job. I really liked him a lot. But it filled that gap this episode that you kind of wanted to see. I wanted to see, and I'm glad that we got to see it. Now we obviously also in the current day, we also have a little bit of stuff with this Henry guy locked up in the cell. You have Echo that kind of finds out about it this episode and stuff, and you can actually tell that Locke actually is kind of letting this Henry guy kind of bother him. You know what I mean? Because you get a moment in this one where he's like, "Oh, so you're in charge?" He's like, "Well, me and Jack kind of make the decisions together." And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure." You know what I mean? Sure you do. Yeah, my mistake, And you can tell it kind of angers Locke because Locke wants to be in charge and he's kind of letting this guy get inside of his head, you know what I mean? And Locke has a freak out, you know what I mean? And obviously, as Henry says, your doors are thin, so I hear everything, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it was a really cool episode. I loved it. I thought it was really great. I think they did a great job telling the story, and obviously, we'll have to see what happens with this, Henry guy. We'll have to see what goes on now with, him being locked up and where that all kind of goes and, how it plays out. But I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. So post your comments down below. Let me know your thoughts. And, of course, if you're new to the channel, guys, and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click subscribe and tune to miss any other videos for Lost. Make sure to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys. And, of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos for Lost. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.